Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, less non-classic. Episode number 2553 and double number 2447. First up, basically, we have is Cable and Deadpool Volume 6, Paid with Good Intentions. That's the cover for it. Collects issues 30 to 35. The first three issues of this book is a tie-in to Civil War 1. Where, in the case of, it's split two different main storylines. The Deadpool stuff is simply this. Deadpool tries to bring in the Great Lake Avengers. They bring him in, I bring him because they haven't registered yet, and it turns out they have already registered. Yep. According to people that they were there, they have first people in line to register. Cable's thing is that he's on Captain America's side. And then there's one point in the book where Deadpool is tied to a chair. And it's like this for two issues, where this is what he's doing throughout Civil War II. It's like, TV season probably just did this because he probably was told to by the editors, gotta have a tie into Civil War I, despite the fact it's, at the time, getting very, very mixed reception. I heard the reviews of this one were very polarizing, to say the least. And does it contradict with half main book? Not necessarily, though. I know that some of the tie-ins have tendency to be accused of this, where they contradict something that was established in the main book itself. The biggest example of this is the tie-in from his Spider-Man for Civil War 1. And it's surprising, though, that for Civil War 2, it just was a mini-series. The main book had nothing to do with it at all. Nope. Though, I do find the tie-in quite interesting. Of course, this is actually one of two times this story has been collected in trade. Because it's also collected in Civil War X-Men, which also collected the two issues from X Factor as part of the storyline. Yep. But I thought that was actually pretty good. Yep. 34 and 35. It just basically just a couple, first issue is falling into place. It is mostly put just black box, Anaconda, and Solo, just doing it's like regular stuff for the book with publishing as a whole. 35, it just basically go to past. There's also a thing in this book here where Irene is jealous of Domino because it's hinted that Irene has got a thing for Cable. Yep. She's got a thing for Cable. It was very heavily hinted at. Mm-hmm. And also she's basically witnessing Cable make out with Domino a couple times in this book. But sadly put, right after the story wraps up, she's not in the book much longer. Irene. She only appears for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only about 6 more issues. Mm-hmm. Yes, pretty much about 6 more issues for her, and that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that Famous Caesar brought this character back. But thing is, she's not created Famous Caesar. Nope. James Robinson created this character. When she showed up for an issue for Cable. Yes. Back in 1987. So I guess the Caesar probably was suggested to do this by, of course, by James Robinson. I'm not really sure, but we'll find out soon. Yep. But still a good book overall. Next book is going to be quite interesting because we're discussing, one technical epic collection plus stuff from a couple other epic collections for this one character, Venom. Yes, Venom. Because I looked up, basically, was collecting these epic collections for the first 2 volumes, and I'm like, I practically view almost this entire thing, except for the first book, and it's 2 issues. And those 2 issues are 2 issues of Darkhawk, which is part of a story arc, which just randomly happens. Here's Venom. Shows up fight Darkhawk for a couple issues. Think he's trespassing his land, and Darkhawk is really? You attacked me because you allegedly think I'm trespassing your land. Yes, seriously. This was a serious storyline they had. This was collected in uh, the first epic collection for Venom. Yep. Give me just a minute here. Excuse me. Sorry about this. My computer decided to have where part of this thing decided to freeze for no reason. Okay, I guess look at my phone then. In the case of Volume 2, it just basically this one shot Spider-Man Special Edition Trial of Venom, where it's written by Peter David, artwork by Jim Krug. That's who does basically the artwork here. Yes. It's mostly put Caleb on trial. Yeah, and as for the other thing else collected in the book that basically was that I covered yet. I can finally get this document to open. Is basically this material from Marvel Comics Presents issues 117 to 122. It's a six-parter where the whole thing with the six-parter is that Wolverine and Venom beat the crap out of each other for 6 issues. That is literally what goes on here. No, that is not a joke. That seriously is a story for this damn thing. Yep. As for the other book, basically this is volume, I believe this is 4. Are you finally opening now? Yeah, pretty much this one. The only thing I can skip over this book, because I've discussed it already, is Iron Man, issue 302. Yep, I discussed this already. Yep. It's called Venom Epic Collection Volume 4, The Madness, which it collects not only the Iron Man issue, but also Darkhawk 35, 37, Venom The Madness, which is 3 issues, and within 3 issues, the Incredible Hulk vs. Venom one-shot, which is obviously Hulk vs. Venom, then The Menace, issues 1-3, Nightwatch 5 and 6, and Venom Knight's of Vengeance 1-4. Nightwatch issues mostly just deal with Venom witnessing the origin story of Nightwatch. Yeah, Nightwatch mostly put what he is. He is basically Marvel's answer to Spawn. That's literally what he is. It lasted for 12 issues for his book. He made an appearance briefly during the events of... What was the name of the storyline? Oh, yeah. Maximum Carnage. Yep. Oh. And... Okay, now the things finally come up here. Venom. The first trade here, because I already discussed this 12 or 13. Here's what else they collected. The first Epic Collection. Amazing Spider-Man 258, 300, 315, the 317, 32, 332, 333, 346, 47, Web of Spider-Man, number 1, Marvel graphic novel 68, Depth Trap the Vault, the Darkhawk material from Amazing Spider-Man 338, Annuals 3, 25, 26, Web of Spider-Man in number 7, 8, and Spectre Spider-Man in number 12, Volume 2, which is only the Protector, Amazing Spider-Man 361, 370, 361, 63, 74, Web, the Travel one, which I discussed already, The Web of Spider-Man issues 95, 96, and the Spider-Man Avengers 5 through 6, the Predator miniseries, which discussed already. The Basic Spider-Man issues, and the Court of Common Sense. Yep. Yeah, that's literally what we got here. But for that first book, I only had to discuss the Darkhawk issues, and the second book just discuss a one shot and a backup feature for the book. Yep. Oh, in case you're curious, though, there is roughly one more epic collection left to go for Venom, and that's it. The Darkhawk issues mostly play as Darkhawk team with Cable, not Cable. Basically, the book basically has Dark issues first, then the Madness, then Within, then the Menace, the Night Watch issues, Night's Vengeance, Excerpt from Secret Friends number 20, and Silver Sable Wild Pack number 30. Darkhawk issues definitely is something that I am very interested in covering in the future because I like Darkhawk. I think he's a really cool character. So, mostly put, it's just Venom returning again in this book. Of course, Venom had last appeared in issue of Secret Defenders for the symbiote did for a very, it was just simply a guest star. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Venom would appear for this 3-issue story arc. There was a group called the Seekers, and Venom himself, after this 3-part arc, will later appear in Venom the Madness. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, Dane Figueroff does the Darkhawk issues, but who does Venom the Madness? Which is the very next thing here. This 3-issue miniseries. This is done by And the Senti, arc by Kelly Jones. The big story for this book, it's basically Venom versus the Juggernaut. Yep, that's literally the big thing about this particular miniseries. It's Venom fighting Juggernaut. Yep. Yeah, and it's only like 3 issues for this whole miniseries. Next comes In Within. Oh, I should point out that a lot of the time the Venom miniseries were usually, with the exception of the first miniseries, usually about 3 to 4 issues apiece. The End Within is done by Bruce Jones and Bob McLean. Whereas basically Venom teaming up with Michael Morbius to take on Demogoblin. Yep. Also one named Charles Pelletine. Yes, he's the main villain of this miniseries, and he's just a priest who only appears in this one miniseries. Because once the miniseries wraps up, he is never seen again. And normally next will be the Mace, but next is actually Hulk versus Venom. And it's up here, David, arc by Jim Chung. I'm like, wait, that sounds very familiar. Wasn't that Spider-Man? Wasn't Spider-Man trying to Venom one shot? Wasn't also done by any people? Yes, same people. Take on Dr. Bad vibes for an issue. And then it's on to Venom the Menace, which is basically Venom team with a guy called Menace. Take on the Sunrise Society. Menace is just a guy who's here. He's created by Carl Potts and Barry Crane. He only appears for this. If you're really curious, he appears for one miniseries, and then he has a feature, Mark Presents, and that is it for the character. He just basically like, oh, because Venom is so popular, let's create this brand new character no one's ever heard of, and apparently his feature for Uncommon Sense takes place before this miniseries. Yeah, take a group called the Sunrise Society. It's an okay miniseries. There's nothing they really write home about for this one. Not really. Oh, and the creator, like, it's Carl Potts and Liam Sharp. Yes, that is the creative team behind this book. Mm-hmm. Yes. And then comes a 2-part Night Watch 2-parter, which is interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. Like I mentioned, it basically deals with Night Watch's backstory. He's actually teaming up with Venom. Yes. It's interesting, though, a character who is a ripoff of Spawn teams with a character created by the same guy who created Spawn, Tom McFarlane. Knights of Vengeance basically is Venom team up with Vengeance, the character from the pages of from Ghost Rider. It's done by Howard Mankey, art by Rob Lim. Yeah, Vengeance himself last appeared in Marvel Presents 175, the final issue of that series. Well, actually, let's see. I think that came like. Let me take a look here about this one. Vengeance is more of a violent take on the Ghost Riders. Which, if you're really curious, like, what did he do after Night Avengers wrapped up? He mostly just returned Marvel Presents. He goes most, but he would just create a feature in that series. Yeah. And his appearance has been very sporadic. His most recent is actually in a one-shot known as Vengeance Forever. Now, Night of Vengeance is only 4 issues, and that's pretty much it. It's a really good miniseries because I'm still a big fan of Howard Mankey's work. Now, you think, okay, what about the Silver Sable Wild Pack issue? Like, what is up with the appearance in this book here? Venom's appearance in this book? It's a cameo. Yeah, that's literally the reason for this. It is just a cameo. Yeah, there is no real reason why he's here. He just is here. But not much else to say about this book. I'd say if the book stuff collecting this book here, the Darkhawk one was interesting. The Madness was interesting. I'd say probably the weakest one is probably the Menace. Yeah. The Mace. Yeah, that's the weakest miniseries of all these ones. But still pretty interesting, for say the least. Yep. Oh, and all the writers this one, like I should mention here, Len Kamensky does the Iron Man issues, Dan Figueroff does Darkhawk, and this is the first miniseries. Has Bruce Jones, Peter David, Carl Potts, Terry Kavanaugh. If you're curious, what book does Terry Kavanaugh do? Terry Kavanaugh does. What is he doing here? Not sure what he does. Of course, Howard Mankey. We also have art by Kevin Hoppegood, Todd Smith, Kelly Jones, Bob McLean, Jim Krug, Liam Sharp, Mark Tenney, Rob Lim, and Roy Burney. The cover art is basically done by Bob McLean, and back covers are by Rob Lim. Apparently, the group editor for this book is Danny Figueroff. Yes, as in the same guy who wrote Darkhawk. Yep, but not much to say about this book. Okay, so that's going to be pretty much it for particular review. Next up, it's going to be Case Coast. Take a little break for a bit before I get that. Gotta read some comics and watch Case Coast. Okay, next video. Bye.